Good day, you absolute legends. Well, you read the title. You know what this video is already partially about if you have been following the war on Euclid. We was defeated at the biggest battle ever attempted on Norman's sky. Now, this seemingly poxy system in the middle of absolutely nowhere in Euclid was going to be our first target that was currently being controlled by RSC, or Rossus Starship Emporium. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, they didn't just fight us one-on-one. They called in their allies, and it turned what was going to be a very quick and swift victory for us into a 12-hour non-stop war for control of the entire planet and system. It was a bloodbath. Now, before we get any further into this and what actually happened during that battle, and believe you and me, some of the footage that is coming out of there right now, and yeah, it's crazy. But before we get into that, I'm going to show you, just for a quick catch up, what my video was originally that started the fight for Rossus. Good day, you absolute legends, warriors of the Sin Militia. Today, we stand on the edge of glory. The Rossus system, a glittering prize in the vastness of Norman's sky, lies before us, ripe for the taking. For too long, the faction known as RSC, or Rossus Starship Emporium, has clung to this system. Their grip, weak. Their resolve, faltering. But we, the Cynical Militia, are forged in fire, tempered by the stars and driven by an unbreakable will to conquer Euclid. Today, we strike. Today, we claim Rossus as our own. Brothers and sisters, hear me. The RSC may boast their shiny freighters and polished starships, but they lack the heart, the fury, the unbreakable spirit that courses through every single one of you. We are not just a faction, we are a force of nature, a storm that will sweep through Rossus and leave nothing but banners flying high. They will tremble at the sight of our armada, quake at the roar of our engines, and flee before the might of sin. To arms, Sin Militia! I call upon every pilot, every commander, every soul in our ranks to rally for this fight. Plot your portal coordinates now. Punch those glyphs into your portals and jump to Rossus. Call in your ships, your sleek fighters, your hulking freighters, your dreadnoughts bristling with cannons. Flood the system with the full might of our fleet. Let the stars themselves shake at our arrival. This is no mere skirmish. It's a war for dominance. The RSC will throw everything they have at us, but we will meet them head on. Strafe their defenses, obliterate their outposts, and seize their stations. Show them the cost of standing against the Sin Militia. Fight for every inch of this system, for every asteroid, for every planet, every scrap of nanites. Rossus will be ours, and the galaxy will know our name. Warriors, this is our moment. Let the fire in your hearts burn hotter than a supernova. For honor, for victory, for the Sin Militia. Jump now, strike hard, and let's carve our legend into the stars. To Rossus, to war. So, that video was published in the very early hours of yesterday morning. However, what happened next? Well, just like anything, I was one of the first people in that system, and then others started to join suit. And then the battle essentially was on. Now, for the first hour or so, it was just very slow intake of different combatants all trying to join, come through the portal, and then fly off in space and start battling. However, after a few hours after that, it literally turned nuclear. I'm talking everybody who must have been on Norman's sky at the time was trying to join in on the fight. You had factions that even I had no idea existed join in the fight. Some was helping the Sin Militia, some was helping Ricey, some was just completely attacking us both. It was just absolutely mental. So the next question on your mind for sure is, how does one determine the victor? Because, you know, you get blown up in your ship, you respawn in the system, and then you fly up and go in battle again until inevitably you get absolutely pummeled. Now, this is where we involved the new rule. Now, this rule was kind of done on the fly, admittedly. However, it worked out absolutely fantastic in the end. The rule is very, very simple. If you are to participate in any of these events in the future, you only have 3 lives. That's it. Once your 3 lives are up, you must leave the system. And then inevitably, what will happen is there'll only be one surviving faction left in the system, and then whoever is surviving at the end then claims the system as their own, or if they've been victorious in defending it. So that actually brought the Battle of Rossus to a very sturdy conclusion. I say sturdy like, you know, it was over in 2 minutes. No, like I said, it was 12 hours. It was flipping mental. So going forward, what happens now? Has the Sin Militia been defeated? Well, yes, we've been defeated on one planet. However, remember, stage 1 of this entire thing was to capture as many planets as possible. We are currently around about the 4,500 to 5,000 mark of planets captured at the moment. I believe Ricey and all the other factions out there kind of tally up to somewhere between that, maybe, probably, well, let's be serious, you know, they're rubbish at what they do, so they're probably, you know, around about 200 or 300 stars or something, I don't even know. But nonetheless, what happens now, and I have commanded my forces to go ahead and start recapturing stars. Let's regather, regroup, and we've learned a lot about the enemy. We know now, for example, that whenever we go ahead to attack one of their planets, they will not fight alone. They won't dare fight alone because, you know, naturally, we are a much bigger faction than any one of them. But combined, they do pose a small threat to our conquest. So for now, we're going to start expansion. We're going to carry on getting more and more planets so that it makes it harder for them to essentially try and retake a planet back, because right now we have started an offensive, but remember, with every offensive, there's a counter-offensive, and they could at any point choose to pick a target of one of our planets and then start to go ham on that. But nonetheless, we know that they won't fight alone, which means now, ladies and gentlemen, it is extremely important for you to join this fight. If you are a single fighter, if you are part of a faction, then go ahead, join the Cynical Militia. Numbers in strength, we can rival and match and outperform anything that they throw at us. We have learned a lot through this experiment so far, but we know that numbers, going off our previous result, is going to be the key to any victory, because you could be the best pilot in the world. However, once it becomes a battle of attrition, that is where at the moment we are needing the most help. So go ahead, I have a new Discord link in the description down below. Join us over on Discord to receive your orders on what to do next, and in follow-up videos I'll be announcing a next target if one isn't already picked by the opposing faction, and we will be doing this again. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, this experiment is going absolutely brilliant, and I'm absolutely loving all the participants, whether you're on my side or any other faction. I believe that this is truly bringing many players together, giving No Man's Sky a new lease on life. And I know, going off my comment section, there is a few people out there that really don't like what it is that we're doing here. You know, people have concerns, and I just want to address those concerns very quickly whilst I do have your attention. So one of the biggest things that I've seen pop up, and even asked myself directly, is, well, how is this going to impact Euclid as a whole? For example, if you already own a civilization or a part of a bigger group, will the battle come to your doorstep? Will they be infringed? And straight away, I will say this: absolutely not. Just by sheer odds alone, we will never ever be able to reach where you are. And the reason for that is very simple. And you can even, you know, AI, Google this, whatever you want to get the answer. If it took 1,000 players, and 1,000 players doing 5 systems a minute, capturing 5 systems a minute, and they did that for 10 hours a day, it would actually take over 40 years to control the entirety of Euclid. Now, I'm sorry, I love the game and everything, but I don't think anyone's going to be dedicated enough to play No Man's Sky at 10 hours a day for 40 straight years, 1,000 people all at once, just to accomplish one goal. So, like I said, I don't think that even this experiment will ever be able to reach it. But if somehow your civ is in our neighborhood, then again, do not worry. we will honor your non-combative status. We know that you are not part of this and you will be left well alone. So please do not worry. And, you know, this experiment is what it is. It is an experiment. There will be a conclusion eventually. When that is, I don't know at this very moment in time. But whilst it is still a popular thing to do, especially between updates, and that it will be continuing for the foreseeable future, however, we will be keeping it in a very localized part of Euclid that's away from everything and everyone that we currently know about. So again, please do not worry. But like I said, if you do want to join in the fun, link in the video description down below. Anyways, that's everything from me here today, and as always, my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.